So, I have posted a few videos over the past couple of months about a fella that I was dating and how amazing it was. And this past week, we ended it. And it's crazy, but I feel like this one hurt a whole lot more than my marriage of almost 11 years ending.
Okay, so our marriage of 11 years ended, and then probably she more than likely divorced her husband because practically 80% of divorces these days are filed by the woman. And if she's college educated, that jumps to 90%, son. And as bad as I feel for her, you know, she's obviously hurting, but you didn't have to leave your husband, right? I mean, you could have stayed. I'm sure, you know, he was pretty twisted about this because a lot of times these females don't have any sympathy for the ex-husband they left behind because as a female, right, just like with any female, your own ex-girlfriends, right, as soon as you break up, she could replace you like that. And many times, even worse, is she usually has the next guy already lined up, right? Already lined up. So it's kind of a double whammy, whereas you are going to have to sit there and go back out to the clubs now as an old person, you know, get on the dating apps, which I tell you never to, by the way. Just jump into 7 Months to Mastery. You're going to have to get back out there and compete again, and it's probably going to be at least 6 months, maybe a couple of years, but, you know, if you're an average dude, if you ever even replace that chick, right? And there's no guarantee of that, where she is pretty much guaranteed to replace you. So it's hard to feel sorry for these chicks when they bounce on the dude because, look, she's already in a new relationship. Let's go talk to her ex-husband. I bet that dude's still single. I bet he's still out there. You're getting rejected by chicks that are half as good looking as her, right? Because that's usually the case, right? When you go through a breakup, you get back out there. And it feels even worse for you because now you're getting rejected by chicks who are half as good looking as your ex. So it's hard for me to feel bad for these chicks, especially when they end the marriage.
I don't know if it was just because I fell so hard, so fast.
But this is kind of payback. I hate to say it. Oops. It's a chair. It's payback for what she did to her ex-husband, most likely.
I was just excited that I had found something that made me feel alive again.
What about your ex-husband? He's not feeling alive.
Why? It stings so much more.
Probably like her ex-husband how it stings.
I also wonder if it's because I realize that I'm still tainted from my divorce. I feel like I brought on the insecurity and struggle with trust into a new relationship. Or maybe it protected me. Maybe it did more harm than good. But dating sucks.
No, it's great.
Dating after ending a marriage due to infidelity?
Oh.
I'd rather be single for the rest of my life. So, it's a struggle. And I worry that this is going to be a struggle I feel for a long time. But I wanted to get on and say that you're not alone. And give yourself some grace. just try to protect yourself.
Okay, yeah, another reason why it's hard to feel sorry for these women is because even her, as much as she's just so heartbroken and everything, all she has to do is look in her DMs on her social media, and I guarantee there's an army of dudes messaging her going, hey, hottie, ooh, liking all her posts, and oh, you're so beautiful. She wanted to pick any one of those guys she could. As a dude, when is the last time you got a DM from some random girl who was even at your level, right? Average looking, or even a little bit above that? You probably never, right? Doesn't happen, right? Unless you're on social media or something, right? You have followers. Every once in a blue moon, I get those, but even for me, they're far and few between, right? And I have 350,000 subscribers, and every once in a while I will get some female messaging and even some haters every once in a while, I want to straighten you out, mister, we need to go out. It's every once in a while, but I know it's they're hitting on me. It's very rare, and usually they're okay looking, but yeah. So it's hard for me to feel bad for her. I mean, if this chick loaded up her dating app right now and put up her profile, and spent 3 minutes putting up a few photos and saying a few things about herself, by tomorrow morning, she would probably have 100 messages. I kid you not. Okay, let's go on to the next. All right.
So last night was my first date in over 10 years.
Dude, really?
Sorry, my voice is
I find that very hard to believe. First date in 10 years, my ass.
And I kind of wish I wouldn't have gone on that first date. It was one of those times where they see you and they instantly look you up and down.
Everyone does that.
Turned off. And then it was hours of awkwardness and me just wishing the night was over. But now it is over. Thank God. Maybe I'm not ready for this.
Okay, so clearly what happened here, as a professional dating coach, obviously she was using a dating app. I know that right off the bat because she said he looked her up and down and was immediately turned off. So he did not cold approach her. He met her on a dating app, and then she showed up to the date, and there was an incongruence between what her photos looked like versus what she looked like in real person. And the problem with a lot of these females is they use way too many filters, right? Way too many filters. And in her case, she's doing here in her video, what she did on the dating app. She's doing just this close-up of her face where I guarantee she did not upload any photos of her full body. So she could have a wide load. I don't know. I didn't see any of her other videos. I don't know, right? But I'm assuming that's probably it. The guy saw her and he was like, "Oh gosh, she's just her hips are way too big," or something like that. Whereas if she was just a little more honest on the dating app, right? Take at least one photo of a full body shot. You can't just have 5 close-up photos, right? You have to have at least one photo where it's full body, or at least a couple of photos without any filters at all, so the guy can really see what he's looking at. Otherwise, you're going to have that problem. You show up to the date, and the guy's like, "Who's this?" Right? There's just too much disparity between what you look like online versus what you look like in real life. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a little bit of play, right? The person's never going to look exactly the way they do online. Sometimes they look even better, but most times they don't. This is why I tell you guys to get off the dating app. Just jump into 7 Months of Mastery. I'll teach you how to cold approach chicks in real life, where you don't have to deal with this nonsense and feel uncomfortable and sit there all awkward. Quick plug. Click that link below. And get signed up now. So that is what happened to her, and it's hard for me to feel bad for her as well, because she could just load up on IG and post these photos, and she'll eventually get a guy who could care less that she's overweight if she is. I can't tell because, again, this is a kind of a deceptive angle she's using here. All right, one more. All right.
Okay, I am almost there, and my anxiety is pretty good. I feel like I feel good. I like my hair. I feel confident. I am really, really not having expectations. I'm really feeling like I'm keeping them low. I'm going to a place where I know some of the bartenders and stuff like that, so that actually makes me feel more comfortable in case I get stood up, that I know some people there.
Just leave if you get stood up.
Anxiety level probably like a 4.
And really, I mean, this woman here that we just featured is 40. She's over 40, right? And here she is going on a date like she's, a senior in high school. She's getting all nervous, and unfortunately, it seems like she's still new at this, like she's recently divorced. Unfortunately, this is going to be her life from this point on, right? Just a string of first dates. A lot of these women over the age of 40 and definitely 50, that becomes their new life after they divorce their husband who was willing to stay with them and go the distance. Right? This is why I tell these ladies, just make it work, right? You made a commitment to God, right? For better or worse, through thick and thin, through health and sickness, to stay with your husband. And this is kind of your punishment if you divorce him and you try to get back out there thinking that you could just pick up the pieces that you left off when you got married and you're like 22 years old and they'll still want me the same way. No, because now you're older, you have more wrinkles, you're fatter, you have more baggage, probably you have kids in tow. Most guys who are even average are not going to want to date somebody who's 40, even if they are 40. They're going to go down to the 30s, right? The early 30s, if not in their 20s, if not early 20s, especially if they're in 7 months of mastery. They'll be like, I can pull this off. Em teaches me how to do it. Quick plug. So I feel bad for some of these women, but part of me does and a part of me doesn't, because she's over 40 and I know what the future holds for her. The chance of her finding another husband that is going to replace her ex-husband and be on the same look scale, if not maybe even a little better looking, which is what these women want. They want that, like a high value guy. It just doesn't happen. So they just stay out there in the dating wastelands for the rest of their days, going on these endless first dates that are just always awkward, right? Because these women are meeting these guys on the dating app. It's always awkward, just like you meet the girls on the dating app, always awkward, right? But hey, when you cold approach a girl, it's not awkward. By the time you go on a real date with her, you had already approached her, probably bounced her to a Starbucks, already did the get to know you coffee date. And then by the second date, you're off and running. She's probably going to invite you to her place, cook for you, whatever. Happens to a lot of my students. Happened to me a lot when I was doing cold approach. So get off the dating apps, guys. But in regards to her, this is just the scenario that plays out for a lot of these divorced women. And she's going to be 50 still going on these first dates, sadly. And she's just going to grow more and more bitter the more of these dates she goes on and the more disappointment she faces. And it's no fun being a 40-year-old woman on the dating apps when, these guys can easily just swipe on the 20-year-olds. Why swipe on the 40-year-old, right? It's just like with the porno these guys are watching. They're not like going on the porno site going, ooh, yeah, 40-year-old. Oh, let me see some 45-year-old divorced single moms. Woo, I want to see them get naked. No, they're like looking for like the 18, 19-year-olds. So very sad situation. But as always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, please share your comments below. Always love to see you guys in my comments. Always love to read them. So drop those comments below. As always, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell as well. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And for you guys who want to support my work, best way to do that, as we mentioned in tonight's coaching video, just jump into 7 Months Mastery. Right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me, so take advantage of it. And all you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.